Okay, ready to roll here on a Saturday morning. Thanks to our friends at Insperity. Visit Insperity.com for powerful HR solution with exceptional fall through. Charlie, how we doing this morning?
I am doing so good I can't stand it.
yeah,
Be-
go ahead.
because this bad weather is about to get out of here and spring is going to come. So it's been a rough couple days, but that's life.
Well, we've gone from the, low 50s and, now it's, low 80s. This one, I think it's going to get up to 79 today. Can't figure out what the weather's going to do. But yeah, spring on the way. Golf season, as far as, Houston is around the corner, Charlie.
That's why when you live close to the Gulf of America,
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Officially
you
renamed. Yeah.
fish the weather
Apple Maps, Google Maps.
the weather comes from Canada and then it comes from South America. So we don't know whether to go, you know.
Yeah, no, unbelievable. Charlie, PGA Tour back at Torrey Pine South for the second time this year. And, I mean, you couldn't script a better leaderboard going into the weekend with world number one, Scotty Scheffler, heading into Saturday, one back of future superstar Davis Thompson. When Torrey Pines, they were at Torrey for the Farmers a couple weeks ago. When it gets the rain like it did on Wednesday and Thursday, Charlie, I mean, how does that impact the golf course, impact these guys' games?
Well, it plays a lot longer. All of a sudden, they're starting to hit 5 irons and 4 irons, and they have a difficult time because now they're spraying the ball a little, and the grass around the greens is almost unplayable in certain instances. So it changes the game, and all of a sudden, a par is really a good score on that golf course.
No, absolutely. And, you know, when you look at the scores from the first two rounds, the front nine's playing two shots more difficult than it did, 2 weeks at Torrey. It's almost playing up to US Open caliber.
Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah. And, we saw some videos earlier in the week from some players. The rough looked very grown out at Torrey. They cut it, back down to about 4 inches, Charlie.
Yes,
But it's still wet, very tough for the players to hit out of. When it comes to the PGA Tour and making a decision of keeping the rough up, keeping it to kind of a U.S. Open caliber, are they not going to do that for a regular season PGA Tour event or signature event, I should say?
I think they're going to have to. They've got to bring the fairways in. They got to bring the fairway rough up high to challenge these great players. And it's even because once again, I would say what's the average club head speed with the driver is 170 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Well, when you can swing a wedge at 175 miles an hour, you can get the ball out of that rough. And so they hit quite a few good shots out of the rough because of their speed. So even with that challenge, they're really masters at their craft.
When talking about world number one, Scheffler is making his third start of the year after the 9-win 2024 season, ninth at Pebble and 25th in Phoenix last week. And really what should have been a much better result. I mean, Thomas Dietrich played fantastic. The first man from Belgium to win on the PGA Tour. But as far as world number one, he was making a little charge in that front nine and, of course, kind of got away from him there on the back at TPC Scottsdale.
Thomas, where did he go to school?
University of Illinois, Champaign. Yeah.
Mike Small is one of the great coaches of college golf. And so, although he is from Belgium, he learned his golf in the United States at a high level. So my hat's off to him. He was just an incredible guy. Oberg is the same type of player. They're 6'2", strong kids, and they have no nerves.
Yeah.
And they don't have any bad habits off the golf course.
Yeah.
So this guy, he's going to win some more.
No, I think so. Yeah, 32 years old, got his first victory on the PGA Tour, made the cut this week, so we'll keep an eye on Dietrich. As far as Scheffler and Phoenix, he was charging on that front nine in the final round, 41 on the back, took him out of contention, but he came into Torrey South as the tournament favorite this week. It could have been Rory with the way Rory McIlroy played at Pebble 2 weeks ago. I mean, took that place down, Charlie.
This is breaking news. You want to hear it?
Let's hear it.
Rory's going to win at Augusta.
This is the year, huh, Charlie?
Boy,
11 years later.
he's really doing well.
Yeah.
He has his game under control. He's got his attitude under control.
It looks like,
His putting was really good. So the spring training, because he used to go over and play in the Far East,
yeah,
and now he's getting his spring training done in the United States, and so he's playing really good.
he's talked about some changes he's made since last year, getting the club more in front of him in the transition. Really on the way back, the club looked a lot deeper last year. Now it's a lot more in front of him. Any method to that change?
It just gets him a club that is ready to be swung down and hit the golf ball from the right angle. I
Yeah.
mean, that's the key for the transition. The club is going back, and anything that's going one direction to be redirected, it's got to stop.
Yeah.
And so his pace of his change of directions is really good, and it gains the momentum. And he hits those 340-yard bombs and his irons. I mean, his irons, he because of his speed, the rough really doesn't bother him.
Yeah. You think this is the year, 2025 is the year to Rory to kind of get his vengeance at the major championship, specifically Augusta.
He's set for it.
Yeah.
If bar injury, I think he's going to do some damage.
Yeah, it's amazing how he can continue to play well. Still amongst everything going on in the world of golf. Rory said that Rory had a lot to do in his press conference at the start of this week. He played golf with President Trump, and there's a kind of a rumor going around that the worlds of golf, of professional golf, could come together again here pretty soon. Adam Scott and Jay Monahan went up to Washington, D.C. earlier this week and had some conversations with the president. Rory said that Rory gave a very interesting quote. President Trump told Rory that he's not a big fan of LIV's format, and Rory turns around and goes, "Well, you hosted a LIV golf event at your course. How could you not like the format and continue to host?" And President Trump goes, "I don't have to like the format to host a LIV golf tournament. I did it for other reasons." And, of course, the PGA Tour took away his tournament at Doral, and R&A took away his tournament at Turnberry. So obviously he had some vengeance to get on the PGA Tour as well, regardless of what he thought of LIV.
He's got more important things to do.
Yeah, he does. He does. A lot of global issues to take care of for the president. Now, Rory, but back to my point, it's, Rory's obviously assumed the position as the spokesperson of the game, talks a lot, Charlie, and you hope that doesn't get in the way of his game, but
I don't think so. But, where's the British Open this year?
Portrush. Wow.
Yeah. He's got some work to do there. I mean, he didn't make the cut.
Yeah.
It was such a big event for him. So it could set up for Rory's year.
Yeah, Darren Clark said he thinks Rory wins Augusta and the Open this year. Yeah, says he likes the way Portrush sets up for his game. Coach Shane Lowry playing some great golf. He won the Open last time it was at Portrush in 2019. But
he's still not sober.
The only time I've been to the Masters, Charlie, was 2017, and I watched Shane Lowry for 5 holes, and he was kind of struggling on Saturday, made the turn, and had a big crowd with him on 10. And some fan goes, "Shane, how you doing?" And he looks at him and he goes, "It'd be a lot better if I had a pint right now."
Yeah.
That's a funny character. That's a great guy as far as the PGA Tour is concerned. Davis Thompson is rounding out on Scheffler, came into Torrey Pines as the favorite this week. He opened in 2 under 70 on Thursday in the bad weather. And then, yesterday, Scheffler shot a bogey-free 5 under 67, only hitting 5 fairways, Charlie. Really solid round.
His golf swing and his speed, that rough, his club is coming at a sharper angle, and he hits a lot of quality shots.
Yeah.
Especially around the green. He's a magician with that wedge.
Yeah. Davis Thompson is the 25-year-old out of Georgia who won the John Deere Classic last year. He is going into the weekend with the lead at 8 under by 1 over Scheffler. Thompson opened 70-66. Let's hear from Thompson after round 2.
Yeah, I felt like I hit the ball great at the start. Hit a lot of fairways and greens. And then on the back nine, I just, I had two chip ins, hit a great iron shot on 13, and then made two bogeys, but bounced back nicely. So it's kind of like steady golf on the front, and then kind of a roller coaster on the back. But yeah, birdie in 16 and 18 definitely helped out.
So, Charlie, this is an excellent driver of the golf ball. I see him as someone, Davis Thompson, who's going to win a major in the next 5 years. Finished ninth at the U.S. Open last year, but his rise here at Torrey has been a little bit of a surprise, considering he's still searching for his first top 20 of the spring and yet to finish better than 69th and two pro starts at Torrey. But once again, you're seeing an excellent driver of the golf ball in Davis Thompson really take advantage of the fact that, it's 7,700 yards this week. It's playing wet. Hasn't hit his irons very well this season so far, but really an excellent player out of Georgia. Another one out of Georgia.
These young guys that haven't been around the tour that long, and they have an event like this happen with the bad weather, and now their expectations are very low. Well, this kind of, I don't want to play in the rain, or this kind of stuff. And so, but they can't gain momentum, and lo and behold, this guy can really play.
Yeah.
And he had quite a few bounce back holes after his bogey. He'd come back with a birdie, and that's quality golf when he can do that under those situations.
Yeah, this is his second 36-hole lead. Had a share of the lead going into the last 36 holes at the 2023 American Express. He owns 3 runner-up finishes and 75 starts on the PGA Tour. Going to have an excellent chance to keep up with Scheffler and McIlroy, Oberg, who we'll talk about in the next segment. You got a couple other great names up there too: Denny McCarthy, Patrick Rogers, Nick Dunlop.
McCarthy's such a great putter.
I think he's the best in the world at it. Yeah. It's either him or JT Poston.
Yeah.
You can't really tell depending on the week. Nick Dunlop's obviously a very young 2-time PGA Tour winner, only 5 back heading into the weekend. So a lot to break down as far as the Genesis Invitational at Torrey Pine South is concerned. This is the Charlie Epps Golf Hour. We'll be back after this.
This is the Charlie Epps Golf Hour on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
Powered by Insperity.
Now from the Veritex Community Bank Studios, here's Will Docker and the golf doctor himself, Charlie Epps.
Nice to have you with us as we get you up to date as far as the world of golf is concerned. Charlie, you're heading to a pretty major conference to start this week, the STPGA conference. Is this kind of a monthly thing every couple months?
No, this is our annual business meeting for
Okay.
the Southern Texas PGA. And, there's 39 sections in the United States that make up the PGA of America, which is 39,000 strong. So we gather to have a business meeting. There'll be about 250 golf pros from all over South Texas.
Wow. Now, is this the biggest section? Where does it fall as far as the biggest sections in the United States?
California, you got northern and southern sections. Like here we have Southern PGA and the Northern PGA, which is north of College Station and Baylor.
Yeah.
You know,
Waco.
yeah. So we go in there and we discuss all our business and we have tournaments and then we have an educational program and everybody's got a charity and it's fun to see everybody because the golf pros we don't get to see each other during the season. We're so busy. Except me. I mean, I'm now happily retired, but
Yeah.
I still like to go up there and see the boys.
Did you ever lead the STPGA?
Yeah, I was president
Okay.
for a couple of years. I did. The PGA of America is a great organization. It's got so many different things that it helps the golf professional, and so we have to return for what the PGA does for us. And you become an officer in the PGA, and then you do chairman of different activities,
Yeah.
and so it's promoting the game of golf.
How much responsibility was that for you? I mean, on top of being the head pro at Houston Country Club, to balance that as well, to lead that organization.
Well, back when I became president of the Southern Texas PGA, the section office was really not very good, and we weren't very organized, and so we changed and we hired a guy named Duke Butler, who was the executive director of the Houston Golf Association, but he became the executive director of the PGA too, and he gave us great counsel, and he was able to put things together, and that's when we really started growing. And since then, uh, now Tom Hutton, who is our executive director, has a staff of 12, and we got the Southern Texas Junior program is second to none. We have our charities, we have an outreach program, we just a lot of activities to promote the game of golf and to really get people into the game.
Yeah, and you look at the junior golfers out of Texas and what they're doing at the big level. I mean, Scotty Scheffler, Jordan Spieth. I know that's NTPGA, but it's amazing, and all the way down to what you're doing with your scholarship. I think over $50,000 raised over the last 2 years, maybe more.
No, I raised almost 300,000.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Are you 3 or 4 years into this?
We're going to our fourth year.
Yeah.
And it's because of being a golf professional in a major city at a major country club. You meet people that are very successful, and they want to help charities and so on and so forth, and they're very generous. And so one day we got to count up all the money raised in the Southern Texas PGA. I mean, Jackie Burke says, Epps, he says, you got to get on the street and raise money. That's what we do.
Yeah.
Promote the game, but have tournaments. And so Jackie taught us a lot that way.
And at these conferences, is it a lot of tournament planning instruction, or is it more dealing with things on the business side?
It's the junior program is really the most important part of what we do, I would say. So we got over, I don't know, 2,000 kids playing every Monday in the summer.
Yeah.
And that's a big undertaking. So all the pros, chip in and help out.
When some of these younger assistants or head pros come up to you at these meetings, and ask for advice or any consultation, what's kind of the number one thing that you're preaching to them at the moment?
Well, the PGA has a great educational program, and they cover every aspect from accounting to the history of the game, to construction, to how to do certain things. And when I came to Houston, there's a lot of things that I really had never been exposed to. And the PGA was a good friend for me, and it allowed me to meet more golf pros in the area, and because of competition or the tournaments, and then the educational program. So, I got to meet, the great Jimmy DeMerit.
Yeah.
he was so much fun.
Yeah, I mean, coming from, obviously you spent some time in Toledo on the West Coast as well, down in Argentina. I mean, to fall into a community like Houston, was that by coincidence, Charlie?
Well, no, the young lady that I married, she had graduated from University of Houston. She had a couple sisters that live in Houston. So when I decided I was going to go, we came back from Spain, and I decided I was going to travel and play in some tournaments, state opens and stuff like that. We came back to Houston just to visit, and we were going to take off, but her her sister's husband, Ovid Johnson, was a great man, and he helped me a lot. And the only problem he taught me to drink scotch. But it led to a lot of connections, and Houston's been a great city for Charlie and his family.
Wow, listen, world class, unbelievable. And you're just getting done with the book, aren't you, Charlie?
Book.
That
Journeyman.
Yeah, and that's going to detail. I mean, from the time you were, before military, growing up, all the way, until the end.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Incredible. The great Mark Button.
Yes,
is writing that book.
Ghostwriter.
Yeah.
But he's helped me a lot. Jay Minks from Insperity, who's now retired. He was really the emphasis behind the book. So
you've had so much happen in your life, so much success. I mean, it's got to be a little challenging to fit it all in a book and condense the information.
Yes.
How long is this book?
It's 20 chapters. About I forget how many words. It's at the publisher now, and we're getting it all organized.
Yeah.
And editing and so on and so forth.
What a process. Congratulations, Charlie.
Thank you.
Incredible. Now, as far as the, where we are, as far as the world of professional golf, Davis Thompson leads the way going into the weekend at Torrey Pines South, where the Genesis Invitational returns. Obviously, this tournament was supposed to be at Riviera, Charlie. It is each and every year. Tiger Woods is the host, but out of respect to those who were impacted by the LA fires, they made a decision to move this tournament back to Torrey South, and I think through 2 rounds we're seeing that was obviously a great decision.
And the worst came to worst. Now they're having rainstorms up in LA and mudslides. It just goes from bad to worse. Those poor people having to endure a lot.
Yeah. You have any friends over there?
Oh yeah.
Talking to some people.
Yeah.
How are your people holding up, Charlie?
A couple people are hurting.
Yeah.
Couple people live in LA, and one lost his house, just gone.
They're in the Palisades.
Yeah.
That's horrible. That is horrible, Charlie. I talked to well, actually, we were talking to a buddy of yours who's a referee in the NFL, also a lawyer, and he's got a daughter at Pepperdine, and he said, I mean, the area around Pepperdine, Malibu, is it? Yeah, I mean, everything was completely burned.
Yes,
but it somehow burned right around the campus. Didn't touch the campus.
Isn't that amazing?
It really is, Charlie. It really is. We have to take a quick break. Oh no, we got 3 minutes left. So Davis Thompson leads the way. He's going to go into the final round with a 1-shot lead. You've got Scotty Scheffler in solo second at 7 under. Denny McCarthy's in solo third at 6 under. Rory McIlroy starting the weekend 3 shots back at 5 under, and then a tie for 5th. You have Ludwig Oberg, who opened 74-66, and Patrick Rogers, who opened 69-71, and a tie for 4th. Charlie, Ludwig Oberg, one of the best young players in the game right now. He was plagued by a little bit of an illness. His first time around Torrey Pines for the Farmers, he opened 63 and then got sick, and it really impacted him over the next 2 events. Didn't finish out great at the Farmers. Had to withdraw from Pebble Beach, but obviously he carries a game that can compete at one of the golf courses on the PGA Tour.
Beautiful player.
Went to Texas Tech, won the RSM Classic last season, and talked a lot about in his post second round presser how the illness got him down, and he lost 8 pounds, and but starting to feel better. Played very well yesterday. Shot 66. So We'll keep an eye on Oberg heading into the weekend. We had some sound from Rory McIlroy grading that second round. He shot 67 yesterday. Once again, Charlie, we talked about this in the first segment. Rory's looking for his first major in over 10 years, playing extremely well. Won the Pebble Beach Pro-Am. Let's listen to Rory grade his second round yesterday.
B plus. I had a lot of really good shots. I played well for the most part. I scrambled well. I just didn't take advantage of the par fives. I only made one birdie on 9, hit it in the fairway on 6 and didn't make birdie, and then didn't birdie the 2 par fives on the back 9. So I made up for it in other places, which was nice. But I know going into the weekend, I'm going to have to play the par fives better.
Try the par fives at Torrey. When you went around this course with Angel, he's obviously a big hitter. How crucial the par fives as far as tackling them to winning this tournament?
Well, they're holes that they go different directions, and so each plays differently, and so they got to play smart with the wind, and the wind coming off the ocean and up through that valley is really deceiving. And the 13th hole, which is a great par 5, goes back inland, and that green is really difficult to hit in 2, and then if you go for it in 2, there's some difficult shots around the green. But I think today the weather's getting a little better, and they're going to be able to hit the greens because the greens are moist. If they were hard like they were for the U.S. Open, it'd be a completely different story.
Saw some guys spinning the ball back on the greens out of the rough, Charlie.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, that's that speed that I'm telling you about. These guys are so strong. Their arms, they look like Popeye now.
Yeah.
And their forearms. Arnold Palmer was really a man he worked with his dad, and his hands, wrists, and arms were like a weightlifter, and he could really hit the ball with that strength. So these guys, you look at Rory and
even Scotty.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yep, they're strong.
Yeah. On the other side, we'll hear more from Scheffler explaining his driving from round 2. Had some interesting words there. Once again, only hit 5 fairways yesterday en route to a bogey-free 67. So we'll hear from Scheffler on that. Colin Morikawa also voiced his thoughts on pace of play, and Lucas Glover said aim point is slowing down pace of play on the PGA Tour, and Morikawa responded to Glover's comments as Morikawa uses aim point. We'll hear what Colin had to say after this break here on the Charlie Epps Golf Hour, presented by Insperity.
You're listening to the Charlie Epps Golf Hour on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
Powered by Insperity.
From the Veritex Community Bank Studios, here's Will Doctor and the Golf Doctor himself, Charlie Epps.
We continue as far as the world of golf is concerned here on the Charlie Epps Golf Hour, presented by Insperity, HR that makes a difference. And I've been keeping up with Insperity's latest signee, Johnny Kiefer. He's a Baylor graduate, just got on the PGA Tour after winning the Canada money list. And Johnny had himself an incredible weekend, last week there there on the Corn Ferry Tour in Bogota for the KFT event. And he finished 2 shot back of the leader, Kyle Westmoreland, who's actually an Air Force graduate. Another great story. Kyle just got his first win on the Corn Ferry Tour. But Johnny Kiefer, Insperity represented, he finished 2 shots back of Westmoreland, 75, 61, 61, 70. So Corn Ferry Tour will be back in 2 weeks, and we'll be rooting for Johnny Kiefer. But our listeners, especially the business owners, Charlie, they need a place where they can go get their better HR.
Yes, and here's why. Insperity's mission is helping business succeed so communities can prosper. That's a big statement right there. We want everybody to prosper, and that's what Insperity is all about. And during the recent health and economic crisis in America, Insperity has helped their clients navigate through the chaos and ultimately rise above those challenges. And that's why Insperity is out there to help you. Small businesses control our economy, not only in this worldwide, but as you approach your business year and you feel like you need a little help with HR strategies, business strategies, give Insperity a look see and log on to their website, insperity.com. And I guarantee you that there'll be a 15th club in your bag, as we say in golf. And they're a club with integrity, and they look forward to helping owners and leaders of businesses.
And we continue as far as the world of golf is concerned. A big headline this week, and a big headline so far this spring has been pace of play. The LPGA has put in some implications, penalizing pace of play. Players will be on the clock on the LPGA Tour moving forward. Charlie Hull spoke about that this week. She's very happy with those changes. The tour has still not enforced really much of anything new as far as pace of play. They'll still put players on the clock, but there is some conversation about publicly releasing player times and enforcing some accountability, Charlie.
Well, the PGA Tour's policies, they don't let us know who they fine, but there's players that get fined for slow play. But we got to get to a point where not only it's a dollar situation, but it's a stroke situation. And you look at what the players are doing just on the green with this new way to line up, and the caddies get involved. I'm surprised some of the guys don't get some spectators out there that go through this process.
Oh.
I don't like the aiming point. I don't. It's just
too much. There is a lot there. The PGA Tour has an incredible volunteer program. The tournaments, the communities, it would all really not be able to happen without the volunteers. Can you shift some of those volunteer responsibilities to kind of keeping up with pace of play? Because I think that's one of the big concerns. You have so many players on the course. How are you going to keep track of it all?
Well, right now the PGA Tour is rich with resources, and there's plenty of money to go around. And you don't want spectators or people that don't really know what they're doing calling
The penalty.
penalties
You
and
need
stuff
more
like
rules officials.
more rules officials, baseball and the umpires, they bring in 4 extra umpires for the game, and you got to have more rules officials and cover it, the game, because it's over 200 acres. You got to have your eyes and everybody knows who the slow players are.
Yeah.
They got to call them out. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Lucas Glover says that really aim point is one of the #1 reasons of slow pace of play right now on the greens on the PGA Tour. And Colin Morikawa, who is one of the favorites to start this week, uses aim point and responded to Glover prior to the start of the Genesis.
I have nothing against Lucas, but I mean, if we're banning aim point, I think we should ban long putters as well. And I don't know. I guess no one has said it, right? But like, let's just look. Aim point does take longer if you're not doing it properly, right? If you're not doing it when other players are reading their putts. I think there's a respect issue. I think some players might get a little bit too close to the hole. And I get that when you get too close to the hole when someone else is putting. Yeah, like I don't want my line and my putt to go over someone else's foot and their marks. But, I mean, are you going to tell other players not to walk around the hole when we're picking up putts? So from my perspective, aim point has 1,000% helped me. I listen to the announcers sometimes during play and they say, why would you aim point this, and that? It gets a basis of how I read a putt and where I start my lines. It's just like reading something from behind the hole or behind the ball. That's how I'm getting my general read for that. So I don't think people understand how aim point works to really say this is right or wrong. Does it slow down play? I think there are some players that maybe do it in the wrong spots. And sometimes, look, I'll admit it. Yeah, maybe I can't get in when I want to. So it adds a couple more seconds. But I know that and I'm aware of that. I think players need to be aware if they're slow or not, right? Like let people know who is slow and do something about it, right?
#1, I don't think the long putter slows down play.
It had
Charlie.
nothing to do. I mean, that's just a smart ass remark, I mean, come on.
That's not slowing down anybody.
No. He's just jealous that Lucas is making every putt he looks at.
And Lucas has won more than Colin since 2023. Colin only one win since the hasn't won since the 2023 Zozo. And one, aim point is slowing down play. The long putter is obviously not. Do you tell any students to use aim point, Charlie?
No.
How do you read putts?
Just look from behind. Look as you walk up on the green, where's the high point and the low point, and go from there. Know where the grain is. The grain's the most important thing as far as pace of the putt's going to be, if it's into the grain or down grain. But you don't have to take more than 25 seconds.
Yeah.
To pre-shot routine to get the ball in the hole, and so
yeah. I've taken one aim point lesson way back when. I've never used it, but I did go through a little bit of a lesson, and I can't wrap my head around how the eye and greens change wherever you go.
Yeah.
It slope, speed, grain. None of them are the same.
No.
So there can't be any kind. I'm out on aim point, Charlie.
Yeah. Well, I learned how to play golf in Argentina in the 50s, and back then we would use our fingers. Is it one finger, two finger? Is it a forehand? It's no. But we didn't. Play the soupy shuffle around all the holes and all. Don't, and the caddies have no business getting involved in that. If they,
Yeah, a lot of them use it. Charlie.
The caddies want to be on television. That's all the reason why they're doing it.
Yeah, we have a couple lessons here, Charlie.
Yes, sir.
And as far as the putting, one of them is Sergio Garcia's dead hand putt, Charlie, and how calm with his hands when he's putting, it's just incredibly smooth. Obviously, it's a little bit of different situation when he's over a full swing shot and he's messing with the grip. But, over the years, when it comes to Sergio, when you see him putt, especially in the big spot, we haven't seen him in a Ryder Cup here in a little bit. But as far as his routine, his stroke, what really impresses you about Sergio?
That he's evolved over coming out as a 16-year-old kid, coming in and finally winning the Masters. But I think he's found that the putter moves better if the forearm's a little more involved, and you don't want to get your hands being wishy-washy. So you get your good grip pressure and let them be as you put them on the club at the pre-shot routine, but move the arms that move the shoulders just a little. And Arnold Palmer was a little handsy. It's just you know. Putting is more from the heart than anything. And so you can there's handsy players, there's long putter players. You just got to stand up and knock in the hole.
Yeah. Now, and you might not learn a lot from Sergio this weekend on Fox with the live coverage. He's in 29th at 1 over heading into the weekend at Adelaide. But Denny McCarthy, Charlie, is someone that the fan at home could really learn from. He's not using aim point. His routine is efficient.
Yeah.
And he's one of the best putters on tour by a mile.
Yeah. And you might find that his eyes are really probably really good.
Yeah. As far as, got to take a quick break, Charlie. On the other side, we will talk about, Scotty Scheffler. We talked about him, only 5 fairways yesterday, shot 67. I had a good number for you, Charlie, before we come out of break. The last player to hit under 5 fairways. Now, Scheffler shot 67. The last player to hit 5 fairways or fewer at Torrey Pines South and go bogey free or better, Corey Pavin, 1991.
Really?
How about that?
Interesting. He couldn't hit it hard enough to hit it out of the fairway.
Big cut,
yeah.
Right? Corey played.
Now, but he had a big heart.
Yeah.
He didn't care who he was playing with. He was going to get the ball in the hole. Yeah. And so my hat's off to Corey Pavin. He was a great player.
Quick break. We'll be back after this. The Charlie Epps Golf Hour, driven by Insperity.
You're listening to the Charlie Epps Golf Hour on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
Powered by Insperity.
From the Veritex Community Bank Studios, here's Will Doctor and the Golf Doctor himself, Charlie Epps.
Charlie, going out to play some golf this afternoon with the great Sam Bennett and our good friend Andrew Rodriguez. Of course, Sam on the Korn Ferry Tour should have gotten his PGA Tour card for this year. Charlie finished 31st on the Korn Ferry Tour money list. One shot outside of his PGA Tour card, but he's grindy, he's gutty, he's going to make it off to the starts as far as his second season on the Korn Ferry Tour is concerned. Look forward to having him on the show here pretty soon. And our buddy Andrew Rodriguez played golf at Texas State, now owns a roofing company, and everyone in the Woodlands, Katy, Tomball, and surrounding Texas area, if you're looking for a new roof, your roof is your property's first line of defense against Mother Nature. And it's very important to choose a roofing company that has the skill and expertise to install your roof properly for the first time. And Rodriguez Roofing is exactly where you need to go if you're in need of that, especially with all the storms, all the weather that we're getting in the area in between, floods and hurricanes and freezes. Call Rodriguez Roofing, get yourself a new roof. Do it the right way. They're the best in the business. Andrew, big-time golf fan, great player. Once again, played at Texas State, and now taking over the roofing business as far as the Houston area is concerned. We move forward as far as the world of golf. Charlie, when's the last time you were out to the great home of Jackie Burke?
Champions?
Yeah,
it's been about a couple months.
Yeah,
it's really nice. Yeah,
good shape.
You going out there today?
Going out there today, Charlie.
Attaboy.
Yeah. It's been has it been about 6-7 months since we lost Mr. Burke?
Well, he died January of this past year.
Okay. So a little over 13 months. Yeah. That was a big loss for the golf community, Charlie.
I know where he is right there. He's right in my head. Epsy, yes.
What are some of the fun? You've told me a couple funny lines that he told you over the years. One of them had to do with when you went to go work for him at Champions. You guys would go in the back kitchen for lunch.
Oh yeah.
Just a cup of soup.
Yeah, it's a cup of soup. That's all you need, Epps. Cup of soup. But then he said, now listen to this. If you make 50, don't spend 51. That debt will kill you. Don't buy something you can't afford.
We talked about PGA of America to start the show, the STPGA. You got a big meeting to start this week. The PGA Championship is going to Frisco in 2027. Haven't seen outside of the 2019 U.S. Women's Open, which was at Champions. Haven't seen a whole lot of major tournaments in the state of Texas, and Champions is certainly a course that can accommodate to that. Do you see that happening, anytime in the next maybe 10 years?
Yeah. Jackie taught his sons and his people out there to keep something in the pipeline. They've had the U.S. Open. They've had the Ladies U.S. Open. They've had the Ryder Cup. They hosted the Houston Open for over 12, 14 years. I mean, that's the venue that brought golf to Houston. And so the TPC out at the Woodlands has hosted the Great Champions Tour event. But we could do more. But
you're right. I mean, as far as professional golf tournaments in Texas, it is growing. I didn't mean to make it sound like that with the Chevron Championship at Carlton Woods.
They had the U.S. Open there for U.S. Amateur, Ladies U.S. Amateur there. So Houston has done its share of hosting events.
I would have loved to seen the Tour Championship at Champions.
It was great. It was really fun to watch, and with those big greens, and they had it at a time of year where the golf course was pristine, and the players enjoyed coming to Houston.
I want to get to one thing as far as world number one in course management, Charlie. 5 fairways, but every time he missed a fairway yesterday, it was always in the right place.
That's it. I mean, just because it's on the right side of the fairway doesn't mean it's an easy shot going into the green. So you got to take that into consideration. What side of the pin is, and what side you want to go in from, what angle. It's a game of angles. So you got to, when you watch the players, just watch to where they're. I'd rather be 6 inches in the rough than be in the right fairway to go for certain pins over traps, for example.
Let's hear from Shep. Let's hear from Scheffler after.
I mean, I'm probably
round
gonna have to go rebuild my swing on the range this afternoon. Yeah, so that's probably it.
What were you loving left misses? Were you trying to shape everything back and it just wasn't shaping? Or
I missed a drive left early and on 14, but after that, I felt like I was missing on the correct side, and so for the most part, that was to the left today.
Okay, left.
Yeah, like if you look at certain holes, like 15, if I miss it left off the tee there, you're behind those trees and you're in trouble. I hit it in the right rough instead. Another good example, number 4, there's an ocean on the left, and if I hit one of those big pulls I hit early in the round, I would have been dropping, hitting 3, and so missed it right there. And kept the golf course in front of me today. Definitely going to have to improve upon the ball striking as the weekend goes on.
It's gonna be tough to beat this weekend, Charlie. I mean, if he starts hitting fairways, he's putting beautifully.
Yes.
On the greens at Torrey. I really am not seeing a world, and I know Rory's chasing, and Oberg's right there. Dunlop, a 2-time PGA Tour winner, but this is a dangerous man on this kind of golf course.
Well, the other thing that he has is his pitching ability is really second to none, and at the right time, he made it from the bunker, 40-yard bunker shot, made an eagle, and that just got him going. So he's got all the shots.
Yeah. What do you got going on this weekend, Charlie?
This weekend, I'm going up to College Station to the Southern Texas PGA annual meeting, and see it with all my professional buddies. Enjoy golf.
Yeah. You'll be up in Sam Bennett's neck of the woods.
Yeah.
There in College Station.
Yeah.
Home of the Aggies. We actually had one more lesson here, Charlie. And this is a veteran, a major champion who is really playing some great golf at the moment. Gary Woodland.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the comeback that he's made over the last year had to have a brain lesion removed in the early part of last year, returned 4 months later. And going into this week, missed the cut this week at Torrey Pines, but has finished top 25 here in each of his last 3 events before this week. And he really talks about, as far as his driving, going from wide to wide. And what does that mean, Charlie?
Well, the takeaway, you want to keep the club as you move it away from the ball. You don't want to pick it up. You just want to, because the club is the longest club in your bag, you want to keep it 12 to 14 inches straight away and have a wide takeaway. And so then when you go into transition, you have room to come from the inside in a little shallow and be able to hit up on that ball. So a wide takeaway, a wide swing is really important, where a wedge is narrow, it's more V-shaped. A driver is wide, and keep it on the ground as long as you can, and eventually it'll follow the turning of the body.
How do you get wide without swaying off the golf ball?
Well, basically, when you sit in there with your stance, you get your feet set and you get your weight distribution where you want it, and it's inside the
right
feet
foot.
And the right foot and the left foot. And in iron play, you're going to pivot and you're going to turn a little more on that your lead foot, and just kind of like drawing a circle with a compass. You have one fixed point. You put that little pin in the paper, and then you turn the compass around that. Well, you get set up. You put a little weight, which is in front of the ball, and you turn around that point. You don't turn around your right foot. You turn on your left foot. let that left knee turn behind the ball just a little. Perfect.
Both incredible drivers of the golf ball, but if you had to pick one to really watch this weekend between Scheffler and McIlroy, Oberg, as far as ball striking, driving, iron play, who's the player that you would model your game after?
I'd have to find a short, fat guy with no neck. Your body type. You got to pick out somebody that's your same body type. That so it's somebody who's built like you. But all of the swings today are classic swings. They've been refined by great teachers, by video, and they keep going back. And now they have these electronic devices that tell you the spin rate, the side spin, everything. The only thing that that machine doesn't do, it doesn't make popcorn.
Yeah. Or get the ball in the hole. Can't
it.
roll it in for you, Charlie. Listen, great work. We're out of time. Thanks to AJ behind the ones and twos. We'll see you next weekend. The tour will be at Vedanta for the Mexico Open. You were there a couple.
Ole.
There you go. You were there a couple months ago, Charlie.
Yeah.
We'll see you next Saturday here on the Charlie Epps Golf Hour presented by Insperity.